Hello everyone, welcome to another video. Thank you very much for joining us again. This is another Ranelagh update. Oh God, I need to turn the sign on. Welcome back, Ranelagh update. Where are we? Last episode, we had the traumatic experience of the top wheel, which cost an awful lot of money, but it's done and it's now on that Ranelagh. That is pretty much every single component now done. Proven, tested, on there, working, apart from the lower wheels. I've already had one trip down to Cornwall, which is like a 6-hour odd drive, to get down to Jeff to pick his brain. If you haven't seen that video, first of all, go back and watch it because it's really, really brilliant. Jeff is an absolute legend. He's so knowledgeable and he's very willing to share his knowledge, which is just fantastic. I could not be happier to be friends with Jeff. He lent me a set of wheels. They are as close to an original set as we're going to get. Who knows what's happened to them over the years? I don't know. And that's the trouble I've been having. I've got about 15, 20, maybe more different wheels. Jeff kind of didn't really like any of the wheels that I've got, apart from this one. So I've basically used the information I can get from Jeff's wheels, the information I've got from the original blueprints, merged them together with the help of Paul, who also did all the 3D drawings for us at the very beginning. He was the brain that I needed to kind of merge the two. I had Jeff's original wheels contour traced, which essentially that gets fixed into a machine, and it's kind of got an arm that comes out and goes like that, and scrapes along it like that, up and over, and then that gives you a big blown up drawing to scale with full measurements and everything you'd need, a computer file that tells you that radius. This is an original wheel, as far as I'm aware, had this trace as well. Taken all of those drawings, given them to Paul, spoken with Paul. He's also got the original blueprints that Ranelagh actually produced from the wheels that they made. And we've made this beautiful set of wheels. The Ranelagh wheeling machines, when they were sold, only came with wheels 1, 2 and 3. And I've gone and made 4 because the fourth wheel that they produced looked quite handy. It was the highest crown wheel, and that's this one. That's wheel number 1. That is wheel number 2. That is wheel number 3. You're probably looking at these 3 thinking they all look really exactly the same, but there's huge dimensional differences between them. There's a tiny little flat section in the middle. This one is about 15 mil or so. That flat section is different on all of the different wheels. It's not one continuous radius. It sort of blends into a flat, then goes back down again. These wheels have been CNC cut by the same guys that did all of the other components for the Ranelagh. They've done a beautiful job, ready for just pressing the bearings in, making the axles, and we're away. These are made of EN24, so they're hard enough as it is, I think. I haven't gone down the heat treating route and grinding like I did with the top wheel. All the pattern information and all of the literature, the old advertising that I've got for Ranelagh didn't mention it in any of these. For the top wheel, they went into a lot of detail about. The lower wheels, they just said they're made of mild steel. It wasn't anything more than that. And all of the wheels that I've got, I've tested the hardness of them, and they're similar. Again, they're all just very soft. So the plan is basically get these wheels finished, bearings pressed in, axles made, get a full set of 4 done, travel back down to Jeff, and actually put them through their paces and have a go and try it and see what Jeff actually thinks of them. Having spent his entire life working with the original set of Ranelagh wheels, I think he is the best person that I know of in the country that would be able to give us the kind of nod that we need that, yep, they're really nice. Sunday morning, first thing in the morning, he comes down here with a leaf blower and just sweeps up leaves. Has he not got anything better to do? Oh, now he's going down the side. Right, I think he's finished blowing his leaves around. By the time you watch this video, I'm going to be in Cornwall. I'm spending the week down there. We're not filming Repair Shop, we're on a filming break, and I'm spending the whole week down there with Jeff playing with these wheels. Guess what we're doing? We're going to make an aluminium lightweight bonnet for the 356. Yes! We're going to be making a bonnet with Jeff for the Porsche using the first set of Ranelagh wheels. If he likes these wheels. If he does, then we're good to go. Ah, it's good. But anyway, let's get back to it. These Scotch-Brite pads will not remove any material. All it will do is, imagine where this has been cut on the lathe, it leaves tiny, tiny little grooves in it, very, very small. All of the Scotch-Brite is going to do is take off the tops of the peaks. You can see really clearly now the transition between the flat and the radius. So little things like that I'm trying to remove now with these Scotch-Brite pads. So I'm going to spend a bit more time here, working my way through the grits. I'll stay on the coarsest one I've got, which is still quite fine, and keep washing over it until that's removed, and then work my way up through the grits to get to the super fine, and I'll show you what it looks like. That's so much better. That transition between the two is so much smoother. That's the finish for the finest of the Scotch-Brites I've got for the angle grinder. So from here on, the next step is going to be the DA. The DA is removing the finest of the Scotch-Brite scratches, but also creating its own scratches. But because of the nature of the DA, it sands differently. It leaves different shaped swirl scratches. All I'm trying to do is when I change grit and get to a finer grit, I'm trying to make sure that that has removed all of the previous grit's scratches. Because if I leave some and then skip and go to the next finer sandpaper, and I leave some of the previous scratches in there, I'll never remove them. The worst thing that can happen is if I get up to the 2000, the finest grit that I've got, that's only going to remove 1500 grit scratches. If I leave some 800 grit scratches in there, the 2000 grit is never going to remove them. So you'd have to go back to the 800, scratch it all back up again, make the whole thing 800 grit, and then work forwards again. It's hard to explain. I hope that makes sense, but you're just basically trying to make sure that the next grit along has removed all of the previous grit's scratches. A little bit of water. Okay, that is 2000 grit, wet and dry, finish. I'm pretty pleased. That's taken a long time. The next step for this now is to take it out of the lathe and head over the other side of the workshop to the pedestal polisher. And we're going to use polishing mops and compound to try and get that shine up even more. So I've got a stitched mop, which is, all this is stitched together. That makes it much coarser, and then this normal sort of loose one, which I use a much finer compound on. That should take out the last few scratches. Done. So after an embarrassingly long amount of time, I've got my 4 axles made in the lathe. I think I've made more mistakes than I did actually make good ones. I've got my bearings, I've got my axles. I just need to square off this end so it slots into these parts. put these two flats in the end. I'll do that on all four, on both sides. Then we can press the bearings in, put the axles in, put the top bearing in, and they'll be done. Ready for Jeff to test out. All right, there we go. So there's parallel flats on both sides. I'm very, very pleased to be ticking the jobs off. This is all going very well. The wheels are officially finished. Well, Mark 1 anyway. This is all going to depend on what Jeff says. But we're going to have to wait for next week's video to find out about that. But they're looking really good. I'm really pleased. But let me show you what else I've been up to. So last night, it got quite late, so I didn't film any of it. But the Ranelagh that's been on its back, I've been trying to weld the feet on the bottom. So this is the first of the new Ranelaghs that Chris has cast, which is destined for Jeff down at MPH Motor Panels. This is his one. And I've welded, as the original, I've sort of welded on these feet on the bottom. I still need to drill holes through them. But that's it, basically. This is all to do with, see that angle? That's a draft angle, which is to do with the casting, so you can actually get it out the sand, because it's cast obviously that way down. So that has to be thinner than that to be able to actually get it out the sand. So this bottom face is not flat. I actually welded these pads to a steel frame that was flat, that I welded together on the fixture table. So I knew that they were dead flat, offered it up, clamped it in position. So there you go. That is nice and flat. That way and that way. Perfect. So I'm ready to use the crane once again to pick this Ranelagh up, put it on its feet. And now, unfortunately, I'm waiting for parts. It's going to be a couple of weeks before I've got the new axles for this Ranelagh. But as soon as I get them, and I'm nagging the engineering company that are making them, it's the same people that made the first ones because they were so nice. As soon as I get them, I'll get them fixtured up and we'll be pouring more Babbitt in this one to get it down to Jeff as soon as possible. I need to pack to head down to Jeff. I need to pack those wheels. The bonnet for the 356. It's in not bad condition. Now that's not great. I know it's rusty, but that doesn't matter for what we're doing. So I'm loading up the van now. I'm getting the bonnet and the sheet of aluminium and I'm heading down to Jeff. So in the next video, we will be turning a flat sheet of aluminium into a new lightweight aluminium bonnet for the 356. I have to quickly mention DK Engineering because they've been so helpful throughout this whole process. Derek in particular, you are an absolute legend. They are an engineering company down the road from me here. They've got some awesome machinery. They are the guys that contour traced Jeff's original wheels for me. And I've got pages and pages of all of the different profiles of contour that they've traced from the original wheels, and they were really helpful. That mixed with the original blueprints that I've got from the original Ranelagh advertising, we were able to sort of blend the two together and come up with that original set. So huge thank you to DK Engineering. Thank you for watching this video. I'm so glad to be at the end of this saga with the wheels. Well, I hope so. I anxiously now got to jump in the van, put them in the van, and hope that they actually work, because I've genuinely not used them. Even though I've got two wheeling machines standing here, I've not put them through it and I'm not going to test them. I'm just going to bring them straight down to Jeff so he can put them through his paces. So I'll let you know what he says. Thank you so much for watching. See you in Cornwall.